All right, so if you look at the cast, if you look at the director, if you look at the plot of the movie, you would think that I would be running to the theater to see this as soon as possible. Was this movie good? Well, let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my Bullet Train movie review. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like the video, please give me that thumbs up and consider subscribing. All right, guys, so like I said, now we have Bullet Train, and I remember when the trailer first came out, of course, I did check it out, and there was a number of people that did see it before me, and I remember hearing nothing but like, oh my God, did you see the new Bullet Train trailer? It looks amazing. And you know, with the cast that's all over the posters and the marketing and the director attached to this, I mean, it did seem like it would be pretty intriguing, but I checked out the trailer. It was okay to me. It didn't just blow me away. I wasn't just salivating at the mouth like, oh my God, I cannot wait to see this movie. To be honest with you guys, my expectations were it was just extremely low. Even with David Leitch attached to this, the director, and I'll talk about him in a second, I just wasn't that enthused about seeing this movie. You know, but that's okay. Sometimes it's good to go into movies like that because your expectations are low and you'll be blown away. And if I wanted to continue to be honest, I forgot when this movie was coming out, and it was Monday. I had an invitation to see this movie. I didn't remember I had the invitation until like 2 hours before showtime, and I had to run to the theater, and I did check it out. But like I said, I just wanted to give you my expectations because those are important. Now, this is being directed by Mr. David Leitch, and I am a big fan of his, like I was saying earlier. And if you know his work right here, you know that he is attached to Deadpool 2, Fast and the Furious, Atomic Blonde, and John Wick. He was one of the producers on that first film, and I believe he was also the director as well. If I checked it out, yes, right here. It says uncredited, but I believe he was the director for this movie. And one of the things, another movie that he put together was Atomic Blonde, like I just said. And the reason why I brought that up is I really didn't care for Atomic Blonde. I thought it just wasn't a good movie. However, the fighting and the choreography in that movie would stand out exactly like it's in John Wick. And so when you take that and then you attach him to a plot where there's a bunch of assassins trapped in a train where a majority of the film takes place, I was like, man, he's gonna be putting together some nice dicey scenes here. And that did get me a bit excited. You know, I was starting to look forward to this movie a few minutes before the credits hit at the beginning. But before I get into all my nitty gritty, all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this film is all about. Ladybug, Brad Pitt, is an unlucky assassin determined to do his job peacefully after one too many gigs gone off the rails. Fate, however, may have other plans, as Ladybug's latest mission puts him on a collision course with lethal adversaries from around the globe, all with connected yet conflicting objectives on the world's fastest train. The end of the line is just the beginning in this non-stop thrill ride through modern-day Japan. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Now, the first thing that I really did like about this movie is it was 100% completely unpredictable. I had no idea what was going to happen next, where we was going to turn, where we was going to go up, down, left, right. I did not know. Characters was popping in and out. Some you think they're dead, some you think they're alive, some you think they teleported to the other side of the moon. Okay, I just made that last part up. But it was unpredictable, and that is something that I really can appreciate when I'm going to the theaters. I also like the fact that this entire movie, or at least 90 to 95% of it, did take place on a subway train. And like I said in the synopsis, one of the fastest trains in the world. That right there is very difficult to sell, and I think that director David Leitch did do a good job of selling the fact that these people are on a train for the duration. I did like that a lot, and of course, if you're having assassins in this movie in a tight corridor space, of course, that's going to make for some nice fight scenes. They were great. That's one of the best things of this film, is the way he did choreograph the fights in this movie. And the thing about it is that they are assassins, but they come from completely different walks of life. You would not think that they are assassins. And of course, nobody's going to walk around in a ninja outfit or a t-shirt that says, hey, I'm an assassin, or business cards. But given their characters, David Leitch did do a great job of still pretending like the characters was a ninja. And the reason why I say that is ninjas always use their environment to their advantage. And you're in a subway car, you're in a train, so there's always some type of device or object or item or weapon that you can use at your disposal because you're in a subway car. And just with all types of nooks and crannies and seats that you're sitting in that they can recline, and seat belts and over the head compartments and whatever, the list goes on. I mean, it just really makes it exciting and goes back to that part I said at the beginning, which makes this film like very unpredictable. You do not know what somebody is going to pull out their left pocket to seize the day. The movie is also very funny. You're going to get a lot of laughs. They did a decent job of mixing the comedy with the action. Sometimes they did it a little too much, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. But there was a number of times where I was chuckling to myself while I was watching this movie. So Brad Pitt and Brian Tyree Henry are the standouts in this film to me. Brian Tyree Henry's performance was a bit better in my opinion. His name in the movie was Tangerine, and I was rooting for him. With Brad Pitt's character, Ladybug, I'm on the fence. I didn't like his character, but I didn't love him either. I mean, I'm just right there in the middle. He was just someone that was entertaining and did exist, very nonchalant for an assassin, had some comedic timing here and there, and it worked at times. He just took up a much of the screen time, so I felt I had to mention him. There's also a lot of nice surprise cameos as well. Whether or not you've seen the trailers, and I did not remember if they were in the trailers or not. And when it was certain actors and actresses that did pop up, I thought it fit well in the film and did give it a boost when it was a bit daunting at times. And like I said earlier, one of the best things is just the great use of the environment from all the characters. I mean, that's just clever right there. Just split-second decisions. I'm about to die. What is around me right now that can save my life? I love that. I love it. I love it. Okay, so that sums up all the things that I did like in the film, but now I got to transition over to things I really didn't care for. First thing that I really didn't care for in this movie is it was way too long. I want to say at least 25 or 30 minutes. It comes in at 2 hours and 6 minutes, and that is just too long for me. It was dragging at points in this time. I felt that there was multiple stories going on that really didn't fit together. I mean, the film starts off this way, and then you're on a train, and then you forget all about the story that you started off with, and then it's pretty jarring when it just snaps back to this. You're like, okay, I don't even really care about this right here anymore. This is not necessary. They could have kept this out of the film just to shorten this a bit. And also the film does shy away to give unnecessary backstory to other characters. I mean, it's just not necessary. I mean, when you have a film, it has to flow. It has to have nice pacing. And there was a couple of times in the second act to where I got frustrated, sighing, breathing heavily, like, oh my God, like, what are we doing? Why are we talking about this story point right here? I don't really care. And when I think about it, in the end, it really didn't help the story at all that much. It was just extra fluff that didn't need to be there. And also, I have to say, while some of these characters are fun in the movie, I'm just asking myself, how unrealistic is this? And I'm speaking about the dialogue. I mean, you have these quirky accents. Like I said earlier, all these characters come from different parts of the world. But at the same time, I just cannot see myself listening to two people actually talk the way some of these characters did to each other. I mean, they would get on each other's nerves. I feel like they was only speaking this way because it was a movie and they wanted to stand out, not because this is something realistic or relatable. And that may not be what you're looking for. That's part of the escape of going to the movies, but it just didn't work for me, unfortunately, this time around. And also, guys, we have a bunch of assassins here, but there's no plan. I mean, at all. Some guy's mission is just, hey, you know, go in here, grab this and get off. And that's perfectly fine. But when you involve all the other characters in this, a lot of it just kind of seems pointless and unnecessary. If you have a person that's trying to get from point A to point B, one easy way to get there is you can walk there or you can run there. But for some reason, this film didn't want to do any of that. It wanted to do cartwheels and backflips. Yes, you can still get there, but is it necessary? Is that the most efficient way to tell the story? I think not in this case, and it bugged the hell out of me. But for all the characters that did succeed at the end of this movie, it was just random, dumb luck. They tried to express it to you like, yes, I had this nice plan that I've been cooking up for so long, and I'm gonna get revenge because you da-da-da-da-da. No, none of that matters. I mean, you only won because you got lucky, and I'm just not here for that. It bugged me, and it's just, the whole premise is fun. It is. There are a lot of redeeming qualities in this movie, and it's not boring for the most part. There were a little few dull moments with the pacing, but for the most part, it is a fun movie. But I just found myself asking myself, does this make sense? This plot is all over the place. This is unnecessary. I want to go home. But now let me not over exaggerate and be hyperbolic. I mean, it's not that bad. There are more positives than good. I just feel that this was a huge missed opportunity when you look at the director, all the talent that's involved, and the premise itself. I mean, this is based off a Japanese novel that came out in 2010 called Maria Beetle, and I wonder how good or bad that was that inspired them to make this film. But I don't want to end this on a negative note. I'll give it one more positive, and this was a beautiful film to look at. The cinematography was great. All of the lighting and colors and contrast, I mean, it was beautifully shot, and so I got to give it to the team there. But overall, I mean, you know, it was fine, but this is not a movie that I care to ever see again. The only way I would see this movie again is if it was somebody that I was interested in, was like, hey, B, I heard that new Bullet Train movie is out. You know, do you want to see it with me? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But other than that, I will probably find something else. I'll go ahead and give my rating for this at the very, very end. But for now, guys, that is just my opinion. And I want to thank you so much for being here. If you did enjoy the video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you do subscribe, you will get movie reviews, spoiler movie reviews, a weekly movie news roundup show that I host every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. CST, for all the new movie news entertainment that's going on in the world. Got the hashtag Recast T'Challa right here. And I also talk about some of my favorite shows, whether that's Rap Shit, P-Valley, straight out of the theater reactions, some shorts, trailer reactions, interviews as well. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And if I had to rate this film, A Bullet Train, out of a 1 out of 10, I'm gonna give it a passing grade. I'm gonna say a 6.5 out of 10. Yes, a 6.5 out of 10. But guys, again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.